Alright, welcome back to Dwarf Fortress. And I'm at the main menu right now, and there's quite a few changes that have happened, so I'm just going to go ahead and load up from here. Oh, it's really hot in this room. My laptop is a furnace. Okay, as you can see, there's obviously this new area here carved out, but if you go all the way back up here, this is the floor I started on. When I last left, I believe we were on this floor, and in the intervening period, I have gone down all the way to this floor. And this is ground floor of the commons area of the center of our fortress. And we got quite a bit of development here. What you'll notice is first off, probably the two gigantic blocks here. This one is obvious. Well, they're both apartment buildings, but this one's obviously been dug out already. You can see these circle things here. Those are glass portals. In other words, they're glass doors, but they look like circles. So I think they're supposed to be kind of like the not colliding doors. The doors that you go, well, maybe they are colliding doors. Anyways, you walk around in a circle and it spins it around. I think that's what those things are. So that goes in here to the main lobby area of the apartment complex, and I will put a clerk and give them an office here, where they will do nothing except haul, maybe, and that will be their whole job. You can see then there's the hallway ends into this little area here. Doors open up. Go to this back area. There will be more doors here and here. I just haven't bothered placing them yet. Then you go up a floor. This is the first level of the apartments, and they are simple, just 3x3s, and looks like I still need to smooth out a couple bit there. But for the most part, they're already smooth. They already have all the rocks dumped out of them, and they're usable. Go up another floor. You can see I'm obviously in the process of eliminating all of the debris on this floor and preparing it for usable space. One thing I found very interesting was that when I like designated this floor out and I gave all these beds here, I created a bedroom and I left it alone because usually I'll make a bedroom and then once I'm ready to assign dwarves after I've like set up the entire area, I'll go in and do that. But when I came back, like after having laid down all the beds and making them into bedrooms, I noticed that a bunch of them had already been given to people that I had no part in. So I think this is like a byproduct of having a manager in your fortress, and I've never noticed this before. But I guess that Leet Gamer is just going around and turning bedrooms into assigned bedrooms at will, just giving them to people without bedrooms. Which is good in part because it eliminates a lot of the tediousness of having to do it myself. But there's kind of an annoying factor because I was going to have the first floor of this apartment building be dwarves who need to access the industrial quarter. But if I really wanted to, I could just go in and assign it myself and give those guys beds on the upper floors. And again, there's going to be lots and lots of extra space. Then again, go up another floor. You see, we've obviously hit the inner bedrock portion. We do, however, have staircases already plotted out, ready to go upstairs as soon as we need to. And then we'll go and check out some of the other buildings. Again, this building right here, this is just going to be another apartment block. And then in the center here, we've got the first floor of our dining hall skyscraper cafe. And there's going to be doors here. They are not placed yet because I didn't want to use just any regular old stone. I think I'm probably going to put metal doors there. Then you go in, there's stockpile again. I'm going to put special doors there. Then you go in here. This is the cafe area. There's going to be one of these on every floor. It seats 6 people per floor, and there's 10 floors. That's 60 dwarves at a time that can actually be sitting down and eating. But then also there's obviously standing room for dwarves who just want to go stand around in the meeting hall. And then, that's spread across several floors, so it's going to be staggered so that dwarves never have to worry about time to go eat if they need to. You'll notice that the floors here look different than the regular smooth floors. That's because they are engraved, and in fact, all of the walls that have like these little white dotted lines around them, those are all engraved as well. So that's going to be every part of the exterior of buildings on this floor will be engraved. And you know, we've already engraved pretty much the entire dining hall skyscraper, and then this apartment block. All of these columns have been engraved, and then this building over here, which I'll get to in a second. But okay, let's check out a little bit more about dining room. In this pocket here where the cursor is, I'm going to be putting in down staircases, and we will have more stockpiled down there. In this area, I've limited it to only carry dwarven ale, wine, and beer, as well as all kinds of plants. So all that should be here is food, no kind of rendered fat, no seeds, nothing that would take up space, just things the dwarves can actually use when they have to go eat here. At the moment, the process of carrying down food is an extremely slow one, so it's going to be kind of a hassle for a while, but I think once we start getting more established down here, it won't be that big of a deal. After all, we're always going to have a number of idlers, so those idlers can haul this crap downstairs. That is just the first floor. Oh wait, yeah, then you'll notice here, these are blue squares. They are actually glass windows. I have started the glass industry, and I put windows in right here, right here. I'm going to continue putting windows in all along this skyscraper. In fact, all the buildings are probably going to have several windows in them. In fact, in the apartment building, all the ones that are on the exterior part, they're going to have windows. Probably 2 windows to a corner, then 1 window to just standard cell rooms. And everybody should have at least 1 window because of the way I've laid it out. So that should be pretty cool. Dwarves like windows. Then this building down here, this is going to be our trade center, our bank, our vault, and also probably our prisoner storage area. It's completely engraved. The entire thing has got engraving all on the first floor. I moved all the stone from it. There's a staircase going down to a finished goods stockpile area that has not been completely designated yet. Then there's a staircase going up. This is going to be offices for our broker, and here's apprentice. Go up another floor. This is the office for our manager, elite gamer. And the reason that I put it here instead of giving him like his own building and he's in the bank, that's just because as a matter of convenience I've been using manager to order or use work orders a lot more than I was previously, simply because now with the amount of dwarves we have, it's much easier to do that than having to go and individually set all of the workshop priorities myself. So that is that. We do have our Baron officially upgraded. I know in the last video we had our suggestion to the home civilization as to what should be our Baron. But in actuality, I played until, I don't know, probably like maybe a year in advance, maybe not. It's close to a year. But in any case, you'll see here if I hit Z, go to the stocks. We're still a metropolis of Mountain Severe. We've created 1,023,200 wealth. So obviously extremely rich now. We have more nobles than we did previously, and if I go to the noble screen, we have now become a county because our count, Joseph E. Stalin, was upgraded when the caravan list came through. And I still have to give him a better dining room in order for him to be completely happy. But it turns out Joseph Stalin is an incredibly large fan of 2 things. That appears to be copper and large gems. So he has banned the export on those, as well as just randomly mandated the construction of various copper artifacts and what do you call it? Large gems and crusted artifacts. So that's happened. Speaking of artifacts, we've had a number of new artifacts since the last video. I believe the new artifacts that we have are starting here with Brushed Fancied the Scratches of Speaking, Limonite Scepter, worth 74,400 dwarf bucks. Limonite Scepter, this is a Limonite Scepter. All craft worship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with charl. This object menaces with spikes of tube agate, chestnut, and dog bone. On the item is an image of the Almost Pindars, the dwarf, and dwarves in limonite. The Almost Pindars is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Almost Pindars to the position of Queen of the Road of Basins. That's our civilization, I believe, in some year that I cannot decipher. On the item is an image of the blah 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 in limonite. On the item is an image of Shim Room Machines, the dwarf, in ash. Shim Room Machines is withering away. The artwork result relates to the dehydration of the dwarf Shim Room Machines in Mountain Severe, that's our fortress, in the early winter of 8 something. Probably just year 8, because I believe there only been like 11 years past so far. On the item is an image of a diamond in oak, and on the item is an image of cave wheat in gold. Alright, pretty neat. We have a bituminous coal mechanism called the North Panes. I believe Linen Cat crafted this. This is a bituminous coal mechanism. All craft workshop is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with marcasite, siltstone, and plume agate, and encircled with bands of bituminous coal, plume agate, and rope reed fiber. This object is adorned with hanging rings of limestone and menaces with spikes of bituminous coal and plume agate. Neat. And then our most recent artifact is Soak Seeds, the Clutch of Screams, a pigtail fiber dress, also known in dwarf language as Adaglinod Sholid Ubas. Not very valuable because it's made of pigtail fiber, but nonetheless, compared to most cloth items, it's pretty valuable. And it's valued at like 16,000 or something, I don't remember. This is a pigtail fiber dress. All craft dwarfships of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of pigtail fiber. It is made from pigtail fiber cloth. The object is adorned with hanging rings of pigtail fiber. On the item is an image of Cyril Mirrored Brains, the dwarf, in pigtail fiber. Cyril Mirrored Brains is withering away. The artwork relates to the dehydration of the dwarf Cyril Mirrored Brains in Mountain Severe in the mid-spring of some year. On the item is an image of O2 Lost Nightmares, the goblin, and a dwarf in chestnut. The dwarf is striking down Utu the Lost Nightmares. The artwork relates to the killing of the goblin Utu Lost Nightmares by a dwarf named Insyncrosis in the robust swamps in the early autumn of some year, during Dalatham Dast, the riddled onslaught. So that was during a siege somewhere in the history of this land. So those are the artifacts we've had. If we go to, again, I just want to show the stocks here. If we go to that, we can see our exported wealth now is 81,000. That exceeds the total value of our weapons. That exceeds the total value of our furniture. And then also of our displayed wealth, which is, I believe, what the engravings count as. And then held and worn. Our population is at 204, which is actually over my population cap, but the migration wave, I guess, just decided to send for more than they should have. So we have now got an extremely large population. I will never, ever, ever be able to manage this many dwarves successfully. Our food stores, as always, pretty high. Most of our food, probably about 80% of our food, is plump helmets. The rest is imported. Same with the drink. It's going to be dwarven ale, I think plump helmets are. But then the other part is going to be imported. Seeds, probably almost all of it is plump helmet spawn, since I've ordered the boiling of pigtail seeds whenever we get the opportunity to. And then other, I don't know what this is. We don't have any meat at the moment. I just recently finished slaughtering a bunch of new kittens, and the dwarves burned through that meat within like 3 days. So kittens need to produce more meat, or we need more kittens to slaughter. One or the other. Go to our Justice tab. You'll see, again, I don't know if I've shown this before, but Matthew Chris has been wanted for injuring our old mayor, and we did get a new mayor, actually. I don't even remember what happened to Asmel Lycoterith, the Fisher Dwarf. I don't know where he is or what he does nowadays. But in any case, that is probably not going to be ever punished, because if I go to my combat logs by hitting R, you can see that Matthew, Chris, and Dudstraction were apparently in a fight at some point, but it says there was nothing that happened in the fight, so I don't know what that was all about. Um, what else do I got? Oh yes, this building down here on the bottom left portion. This is the industry section. It's got several masons workshop on the first floor. This block here is actually a dump site, and that's where I've been dumping all the loose stone from the apartment building and the other buildings we've had. And so it's all in this one spot right next to masons workshops. So they produce goods very quickly and have a very large supply readily available. Below that we have our stockpile of wood that is carried down all the way from the surface, and this is used in mainly not carpentry, as one might assume, but it's mainly used in wood burning, ash making, anything that requires we get rid of a piece of wood in order to fuel our industry. These are almost all smelters. I do have some glass stuff here too and a kiln, and that is just for the purpose of the glass industry. It does not actually have, I'm not making any of that stuff you need to use cast. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's some kind of powder. But in any case, that's that floor. And then on this floor, I'm planning to use actual metalsmiths to replace our old forge building. Then if you go up here, this is going to be the last usable workshop level. This part here is just purely aesthetic. When I was carving down, I decided I wanted to kind of make the top of the industry area kind of look like smokestacks. In the 3D visualizer, that's what this should look like. Is like two little smokestacks poking out of each different industry section. And I will get the 3D visualization program up and running as soon as possible. What have we had happen other than that stuff? Obviously, my major preoccupation was just completing this project. And once I finally got down to the bottom floor, I was like relieved, but then I realized I still have a lot of stuff to do. So it's kind of been constant project dealing with. And if you'll notice in the top right here, we've got an extremely low number relative to the size of our fortress of idlers right now. Only like a little bit over 1 in 4 people are idling. That means 3 out of 4 people are apparently doing some kind of jobs. Chances are about half of them they're eating, but at least 1 in 4 people are doing something productive. And that's something to say in a fortress of 200. That means we obviously can probably outproduce any of our competitor dwarven homes. And as a result, we're going to be able to get more wealth than all of them. One thing. This trade depot, this is made of solid gold, this entire depot. I am planning to make these doors out of gold. This whole thing is in an orthoclase area, basically, which is the same color as smoothed gold. But it's the best I could do with. There is actually some gold deposits inside of it here. You can see smooth native gold walls there. But unfortunately, that was not the main composition on the bottom floor here. I still have not breached the caverns anywhere. I assume that it's going to be only like we're probably like 2 or 3 levels away at the most from the caverns at this point. But we might actually just be really lucky and have hit kind of a central vein inside the cavern, so that if we like went sideways far enough, we might actually encounter the caverns. I don't know. I'll be sending down some exploratory shoots on the other part of the map. Oh wait, there was something really weird that's happened that's kind of disturbing. The river here, you'll notice, is frozen. I believe that's because it's like winter right now, but no, it's mid-spring, but still it'll thaw out. But if you go up to the top of the river here, just kind of ominous that the fact that the whole thing is dried out. There's no water in this river at all right now, on the north part of it. The only reason that water is still down here is because it's frozen. I think as soon as it unfreezes, that the river is going to just evaporate and go out of the map. The only part of the river that still remained active is this small portion here near the entrance to my fortress. So hopefully that part will remain, because I really do need to have some measure of water in the map so that I can continue to use this massive water moving apparatus to deliver it where I need in my fortress. If I really need to, I can always, deal with the lackluster accommodations provided by murky pools around the map. And if I need to generate power, I can always use windmills, but those are not as appealing as having a river flowing through the entire map. So here's to hoping that come summertime, hopefully, that whatever is damming this river stops damming the river, because that's weird. I've never had that happen before. I've never even heard of a river just randomly stopping its flow. So if any of you know about that, go ahead and tell me. One side effect of this is that our old fortress on the top, well, the middle floor anyways, the one that connected with the river, is now completely dry, and it's completely usable as farmland. I will not be doing that. But, after all this time, we're finally able to set up farms down here. So, mission accomplished. The lower levels, not so usable, because they are below the surface, and thus water cannot evaporate from them. But, whatever. I want to take a look at our stocks and just see how many bars we've created, because I've had the smelters running for a really long time. Let's see, bars right there. 628 bars. I don't know what that red number means. I have no idea. I think that might be the amount being currently used or marked for using. I don't know. But we have 27 iron bars, 43 gold bars, 33 silver bars, 12 copper bars, 9 nickel, 4 zinc, 35 tin, 25 lead, 52 ash, 184 coke, bismuth 19, and donkey soap, always good stuff. We have 15 of that. So things looking pretty good on that front. I should probably stop all workshop activities on this upper floor. We've moved down into the much more safe location, much more aesthetically pleasing location of the commons. Just take a time here, and I think I want to actually just check on Joseph V. Stalin, see what his mental state is. So let's go ahead and check out first off his thoughts and preferences. Joseph V. Stalin has been happy lately. He has admired a fine door, been tired of drinking the same old booze, slept in a horrible bedroom, dined in a very poor dining room, admired own fine tasteful arrangement, tastefully arranged statue, was very pleased to receive a higher rank of nobility, admired own fine table, put off a lesser pretentious dining room, put off by a lesser's pretentious dining arrangements lately, has been satisfied at work, romantically involved with qualification. Go to the relationship here. Okay, well, my dwarf is a female. Apparently, Joseph Stalin has become my lover, and vice versa. And as a result, my character will probably gain nobility relatively soon. That's interesting. He's friends with Lukawiki, Chafe Legel, Linen Cat, Cyber Viking, and Pedro. Worships Volal and Istrath. And everybody else is a passing acquaintance. After all, can't have the nobility assorting with commoners. No pets that I know of, at least. Check the health. No health problems, no wounds, no treatment, and no medical history. Okay. And go back to thoughts and preferences. His indefatigable, very strong, and quick to heal. Well, that's very good military characteristics. But unfortunately, we're not going to be putting our count, our nobility, on the battlefield anytime soon, anyways. Apparently, Joseph Stalin is the appearance of somebody that is 91 years old and is one of the first of his kind. So very old, very muscular, sideburns are clean-shaven, very long mustache is neatly combed. His very long beard is arranged in double braids. His hair is clean-shaven, sunken gold eyes are wide set. Very high cheekbones, recessed chin, very high-pitched voice, teeth are tangled, lips are very thick, hooked nose is extremely short, burnt umber skin is wrinkled, and ears have small lobes. Likes magnetite, copper, citrine, giant cave swallow leather, chipmunk tooth, pigtail fiber fabric, cages, large gems, and donkey's fur for their stubbornness. When possible, prefers to consume river spirits and mog juice. He absolutely detests rats. Has a great ability to focus, good creativity, and a sum of patience, but has an iffy sense for music and a poor memory, little linguistic ability, and a loused intellect. Lousy, that's probably what that says. Slow to anger, self-conscious, occasionally overindulges, often cheerful, likes to try new things, open-minded to new ideas, very trusting, candid and sincere in dealings, and needs alcohol to get through the working day, likes working outdoors, and grumbles mildly at inclement weather. Well, that was certainly interesting. Apparently, now my character will become part of the nobility. Haha! Let's take a look at our mayor. Yeah, we're not going to make you green glass items, Mayor. Unfortunately, you're just simply not important enough for us to do something like that. 29 objects owned by the Mayor. I believe that includes their clothes when it counts those objects. So a good 12 of those are probably clothing, articles of clothing. The rest of it's just junk they carry around. And then obviously it does list the important parts of things they own, like chests, cabinets, weapon rack, armor stand, office, quarters, dining room. Yeah. I've been thinking about doing a new segment for the LP where we just take one dwarf in the fortress and follow them around for one in-game day and just find out what they do. And for those who are in the military, I'm going to probably reserve doing that until there's a battle of some type, because otherwise your job would be pretty boring. And if anyone's interested in doing that or seeing that as a possible segment, let me know. And I think in terms of just showing who is in order, who's going to be done on that segment, I'd probably go down the list of nobility first, and then go down the list of legendary people, and then the list of people who have relations with legendary people, and lastly, just common dwarves at random. But I don't know. I think it'd be a pretty cool thing to do. Always just get to see how people are interacting with each other and what exactly is going on amongst the common folk of the fortress. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing that in the future. For now, though, just designating out more areas to be smoothed and setting up new bedroom areas. Although now I kind of can leave that job to our manager, Pete Gamer, who is a surprisingly useful character. Our legendary engraver has probably added more to our architectural wealth than any single dwarf, other than obviously Joseph Stalin and Pedro, who mined out the whole thing to begin with. But as far as going to decorate objects and stuff like that, I think League Gamer probably is the most valuable. Corb had a mood recently and produced legendary artifact. I don't remember which one it was he produced. I think it was the pigtail fiber dress, if I'm not mistaken. So he's now like a legendary clothier, a legendary crafts dwarf, and a legendary appraiser. So Corb is pretty good, but I don't think I'm going to be appointing Corb as our broker, because we already have a really good broker. And appraisal, while important, is not the most important broker skill, I find. Judge of intent seems to be a pretty good one too, because then you can tell whether or not the trader is going to accept what you like. Anyways, let's go ahead and set up a new finished goods deposit down here. Oh, forgot to poke holes for the staircase. Right there and right here. Yeah. I'd have to say, as far as things go for the chamber that I picked out here, we've gotten really lucky with the materials deposited. I mean, just oodles of gold and silver, to the point where we now have more gold and silver bars than we have iron bars. So it's really, really quite awesome to be able to just constantly have those kind of artifacts. One thing I'm concerned about, though, in the future is clearing out all of this stone in the hallways, because that's not going to be an easy task. I was considering dumping it, but the problem is basically that since this has been channeled down from 10 floors, and some of the areas by legendary miners all the way down, what you'll have is basically anywhere from like 6 or 7 rocks to 10 or 11 rocks, all in one single tile. So you can see there how that could represent a very time-consuming process. So if we ever get a large number of idlers in the future, I'll probably go ahead and do that. But for now, seems that our people are. Oh, what's Leak Gamer up to at the moment? Because he's supposed to be validating orders. Leak Gamer, Leak Gamer, Leak Gamer. Probably engraving something or eating. Oh, I did update all the new names of people who have asked to be included since the last video, part 7. Where is Leak Gamer? Perhaps moving goods. That might be one explanation. I don't know. Let's hit in, go to Noble Screen, search that way. Leak Gamer right there, and apparently I thought there was a way to zoom to the character from here, but I guess not. Well, let's take a look at your situation. Has been quite content lately, slept in a bedroom like a personal palace lately. Wow. Dined in a great dining room recently, slept in a very good bedroom recently, admired her own fine bed lately, has been satisfied at work lately, been tired of drinking the same old booze lately, and was nauseated by the sun lately. Citizen of the Basins, the Road of Basins, and member of the Relieved Canyons, is the manager of the Relieved Canyons. And the Relieved Canyons is the initial embark group that we had. So I think that means that by now you'll have a friendship. Maybe not. Apparently, League Gamer does not have any friends in the fortress at all, but it does worship Vatek, who is the deity of the Road of Basins. Vatek most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with war and chaos. And Toral, who seems to be a pretty common one, associated with fortresses. So worships war and fortresses. Interesting. Apparently no blitzkrieg relatively well compared to your regular folk. Know me at least kind of, maybe talked once or twice, but for most of these dwarves you've probably never even seen them. And yeah, these are all passing acquaintances. That just means that the dwarf has basically talked or seen them once, but as you saw, that was just a list of probably like 30 people or so, or maybe 40. But in any case, 204. That means about 160 people have never even come into contact with Elite Gamer, and that's our manager, the person who comes around and investigates the situation of every workshop that's out there. So if people are working, chances are that they'll have a run-in with Elite Gamer at some point. So the fact that there are not that many relationships kind of shows that either people are not very good at remaining in their station, or else the gamer is a very poor inspector and only profiles workshops when she feels like it, or he, depending on the characters, is she. So. can see they're carrying beds on up to this level here. At the same time as our stone detailing crews are heading up to smooth it all out. And realistically, only a couple more floors are going to be necessary to completely get the whole population of the fortress down here. Because, 20 per level, that's 20, 40, 60, 80, and then 100. And obviously, there's another one right there, so that's 200, and then you can go up another level, and there's the penthouse suites and all that stuff. Pretty cool. Wonder if my managerial order has been, nope, not validated yet. We'll increase the priority to max. Oops, wrong one. That one needs to be max priority. I think the problem is that League Gamer gets caught up in all these small stone detailing duties and cannot go to do his regular job, which is to just manage the fortress. Probably our most multitasked dwarf. That or Joseph Stalin, who is simultaneously the Baron, which means that they meet with all the diplomatic figures, basically the fort psychologist, because anyone who's feeling down goes and talks to the fortress leader, either the mayor or the nobility, the leader of your nobility, whoever that is, and I guess it's count. And then also being a miner who goes around and digs out new areas for our dwarves to live. And is a legendary miner indeed, so probably one of the best we have. I think Pedro still takes the cake though. Man, we really need some bins. Because you see, this contains exactly just one finished goods product can fit in that square, but a bin can contain like 15 or 20 finished goods. So that means that this entire floor worth of finished goods here could probably be contained in like 4 bins or less. Maybe even 2 bins could fit that whole thing. Wonder if there are any animals popping up. It's very hard to keep track of all of these dwarves' lives and all of their pets' lives at once. It looks like quite a few. Oh yes, this is probably the new immigrant wave that rode in and got me to 204. They brought some animals with them, including at least one kitten who has now got a new owner. Unfortunately, it is a female kitten, which means it can have babies, but I think I might just cage it and be done with its shenanigans. So, obviously, a lot of stuff has been accomplished in this fortress so far, and I know what I want to do in the short term, which is kind of hammer out these areas to make the bottom livable. But long term, I'm not really sure where I want to go from here. Again, we still have the idea just to expand into more wings to the west, the south, and the north for the noble, the military, and the government sector, respectively. But I'm still not sure if that's necessarily where I want to take the fortress at this time. So if you have any ideas, let me know. As always, I've been pumping out weapons and armor with our new forge industry, not the ones down here, mind you, but the ones back up on the upper levels, and we've got a pretty good stockpile of weapons, including crossbow bolts at this stage. I have not, however, started any military training regimens, so that might be in the near future. And then from that point, we can go on and start getting rid of the elves, hopefully, and else dealing with other threats that might emerge from the beyond. So let me know if you have any ideas of where the fortress should go from here. And also let me know if you're interested in me showcasing that segment, kind of a day in the life of a dwarf in Mountain Severe. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode and see you guys next time.